So, we finally figured out why Carlos Sainz's contract talks were dragging on forever. With the bombshell of Lewis Hamilton joining Ferrari, it definitely spells the end for Sainz at the Maranello team. Some might call it unfair, especially since he was the only one getting a win for Ferrari last season. But what's next for Sainz? Let's find out. Every Formula One driver dreams of racing for Ferrari, the oldest and most successful team on the grid. And even legendary Lewis Hamilton shares that dream. Wearing the famous red suit is a symbol of prestige and charm that nobody wants to miss out on. However, for Carlos Sainz, the chance to secure his future with Ferrari in 2024 seems to have slipped away. The news that Lewis Hamilton is leaving Mercedes for Ferrari has led to Carlos Sainz losing his spot at Scuderia, as Ferrari recently signed Charles Leclerc to a new multi-year deal. Sainz, who is currently under contract until 2024, had expressed his desire to secure his future before the new season begins. Sainz, originally signed by former Ferrari team principal Mattia Binotto, expected to discuss revised terms with the new F1 boss, Fred Vasseur. With 2 Grand Prix victories under his belt and a strong performance alongside Leclerc during their 3 years as teammates, Sainz was in a good position to negotiate a pay raise and secure at least a 2-year extension, aiming to stay with Ferrari until the new rules cycle starting in 2026. However, with Hamilton joining Ferrari, it seems there is no room for Sainz beyond his current contract. Sainz was excited when he joined Ferrari for the 2021 season. Since then, the Spanish driver has become a race winner, achieving victories in the last 2 seasons. His recent win at the 2023 Singapore GP earned him widespread respect. Now, the challenge for Sainz was to perform even better in 2024 to ensure he gets a contract renewal with Ferrari. Unfortunately, those plans can be scrapped as Ferrari secured the signing of Lewis Hamilton and new contract for Charles Leclerc, leaving Sainz's time with the team finished. After the last racing season wrapped up, there was talks that Sainz asked Ferrari to pay him the same as Charles Leclerc. Fred Vasseur, the team principal, even said there wouldn't be a clear number 1 driver at Ferrari, suggesting equal treatment for both. However, reports indicated that Ferrari was willing to spend a lot to secure Charles Leclerc's position in the team. However, the discussions about Carlos Sainz's contract extension took longer than expected. In December, Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur attributed the delay to the chaotic nature of the last part of the season, acknowledging that they were behind their initial plan. Later, it was revealed that Vasseur and Ferrari president John Elkann were considering another significant option. Last summer, Lewis Hamilton agreed to extend his stay with Mercedes until the end of 2025. Although those contract talks were also prolonged, it seemed that the deal was initially for a fixed 1-year term with an option for an additional season. The Hamilton camp had included an exit clause, which was seemingly activated when Ferrari approached him. Now, with Hamilton potentially joining Ferrari, Carlos Sainz finds himself as a free agent heading into 2025, where there are currently 13 available seats. However, options like Haas, Red Bull, Williams, and Alpine, where teammates are all out of contract at the end of 2024, might not be the most appealing choices. Instead, Sainz and his manager are likely to consider vacancies that offer more promising opportunities. Hamilton's surprising move to Ferrari means there's now an open seat at Mercedes for the 2025 season and beyond. This creates an opportunity for Carlos Sainz to switch from one top-tier team to another. Given Sainz's track record of performing well alongside Leclerc, he likely believes he can fit in seamlessly and showcase his skills alongside potential teammate George Russell. As both the team and driver consider their options, the early races of 2024 will provide a better understanding of Mercedes' performance. With James Allison taking on a more hands-on role as technical director and the new W15 car design, there's heightened interest in whether the 8-time Constructors' Champion has addressed its ground effects issues to challenge Red Bull or is still facing challenges. Sainz could be an appealing choice for Mercedes on a medium-term basis. Their young driver, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, has shown impressive talent by winning both the German and Italian Formula 4 titles in the same year and securing the Formula Regional European Championship last season. In 2024, Antonelli will move up to FIA F2 with Prima Racing. If he takes a bit more time to win the championship before Mercedes considers placing him in a lower midfield F1 team, similar to Russell at Williams, Sainz could be a practical temporary option. However, Hamilton's move to Ferrari highlights that F1 driver contracts can be flexible. For the right price, anyone can make a move. Therefore, the multi-year deals recently signed by Ferrari with Leclerc and McLaren with Lando Norris, without specifying the exact contract length, don't completely rule out the possibility of Mercedes approaching either of them to potentially become Hamilton's successor. Sainz is likely considering a reunion with Max Verstappen at Red Bull, given the team's current strong performance. Sergio Perez's contract is up at the end of the year, and considering his ongoing challenges, it's doubtful that the team will extend their relationship. On the surface, there seems to be an opening. However, there's a hurdle for Sainz in the form of Daniel Ricciardo. The Australian is essentially waiting for an opportunity at the rebranded Red Bull team. He is the top choice to replace Perez for 2025 or even sooner if the Mexican doesn't impress in the early races, potentially leading to Red Bull making a mid-season change. Since his return to Red Bull in 2023 as the third driver, Ricciardo has met all performance expectations. Despite a setback with a hand injury at Zandvoort, he performed well in private tests, simulator sessions, and impressed during his time on the track with AlphaTauri. Even with Sainz entering the job market, Ricciardo is still the top choice to replace Perez in 2025, and possibly even sooner if Red Bull decides to make a change earlier. Sainz faces another challenge, considering his past working relationship with Verstappen. While Verstappen, the reigning triple champion, may not have strong preferences for his future teammate, he has a positive connection with Ricciardo. This wasn't the case during their time as Toro Rosso teammates in 2015 through 16, which was considered to be a bit strained, especially because both were competing for a promotion to the top team. Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko even called it toxic back then. Although things have smoothed out over the years as they've each carved their own paths in F1, the history might still be a factor for Sainz to consider. If contracts hold weight, it seems a return to McLaren is unlikely for Sainz. Norris and Piastri have recently committed to new deals, making them off limits. Aston Martin, which has made significant investments in infrastructure and high-profile technical staff, becomes another attractive option. In 2023, Aston Martin executives explored the availability and interest of Norris and Leclerc. This could have been a plan to replace Fernando Alonso, whose contract ends this year, although the team is eager to extend his stay at Silverstone. Another perspective considered was that Lawrence Stroll, aiming for championships and with new stakeholders on board due to recent investments, might eventually need a more competitive replacement for Lance Stroll. Although Lance has a secure spot as long as he wants it, if Norris or Leclerc showed clear interest, it might have been an irresistible opportunity for Stroll Sr. As Ferrari and McLaren have managed to keep their lead drivers, Sainz's name enters the rumor mill as a potential replacement. There could also be an emotional appeal for Sainz to partner with his childhood F1 hero, Alonso, at McLaren. Sainz could take a bit of a risk in considering his options. Both Sauber drivers will be free agents after this season. Valtteri Bottas mentioned that any extension would signal his seat secured for 2026 when the team transforms into Audi. Sainz might think about making a move for 2025, spending a season getting used to the team, offering his insights to improve the race team, and contributing to the car's development. On the other hand, he could take a daring step and choose a one-year break, returning with fresh energy for 2026 when the new powertrain and chassis regulations kick in. The entry of Audi into F1 not only provides Sainz with an opportunity to represent a major German car maker, but also the chance to be a central figure around which a team can build, similar to what Hamilton achieved at Mercedes after replacing him at Ferrari. Turning 30 this year, Sainz might reasonably expect another 7 or 8 years in F1. With Audi being pragmatic, committed, and making wise investments, that's ample time to challenge at the front of the grid. If Sainz is motivated by a substantial payday, becoming the leading figure at Audi could be a lucrative move. This financial incentive could cushion any disappointment if Audi's entry into F1 falls short of expectations. Sauber claims Audi's quietness about its F1 program is to avoid conflicts with its previous title partner and rival, Alfa Romeo. But this silence has sparked rumors. Some speculate that the Audi engine program might be lagging, or the higher-ups at Ingolstadt might be having second thoughts. Both of these rumors have been denied. Recent events have added a touch of romance to the Audi option. Carlos Sainz Sr. recently secured Audi its first-ever Dakar Rally victory with the electrified RSQ e-tron. The off-road program will now be closed down to focus resources on the F1 venture, where Sainz Jr. can take over the reins. Do you think a combination of Sainz and Bottas would be a success at Audi? What about Hamilton? Can he achieve his coveted 8th title with Ferrari? Let us know in the comments below.